not C. I'm headed towards C from E, not D. What? No, I can't see what you're talking about. I can't even hear you. Can you hear me? Yes, I'm at... What? Hang on. This game's too loud and this... Oh, great. Now I'm freaking dead. Come on. What's cracking, everyone? My name is Ryan, aka Skeeb23, and this is my audio and tech channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Fifine USB microphone. Now this is a dynamic microphone with a cardioid pattern to it. It's RGB USB-C input, and it does have a mute button as well as a button to control the RGB. Now, just a short disclaimer before I talk about this microphone. Fifine did provide me with this microphone in exchange for my review. However, my thoughts and opinions are my own. Whether I dislike it, you're gonna find out about that here. So I'm not being paid to say one way or the other. All right, so first of all, this does retail in at $119.99 on Amazon now. However, this can be found typically for around $89.99, and there even are some coupons that are offered on the Fifine mic depending on when you buy it. So you can get this for around $80, which makes this highly competitive with other microphones out there. So moving on to what you get inside the box, you of course get the microphone, you get the shock mount that isn't necessarily attached to the microphone. You have to obviously hook all that up. You get the USB cable, which the USB cable is running off the mic that I'm using here, as well as you do get some Velcro strips to, kind of tie the USB cable to your mic boom arm. And you do get a stand. Now, Fifine does tell you in the box that they recommend that you don't use the stand. However, it is provided for a portable use or maybe just a quick testing use, that kind of scenario from the stand. So before I forget, the last thing you do get in the box is the little O-ring attachment to be able to attach it to different boom arms or to be able to attach it straight to the stand. That's a pretty typical thing for them to include the screw in the mic, so this also did come with that as well. However, I am using the one that came with this particular boom arm, so that one is still in the box. So as I said, this is a USB mic with a cardioid pattern, which basically means you really want to be within that 2 to 5 inch range to get a good dynamics out of your voice and to be able to get some good presence out of it. You don't want to be sitting too far away, or you might sound kind of like this, as you can see. So, with these USB mics, you really want to be, up and close, personal, like with the microphone, know what I'm saying? Anyways, so this microphone also has a mute button on it, which I will show you really quick. Now, so if you can lip read, you probably heard what I was saying there, but this does have the mute button that works very, very well as the RGB button down below, which turns off the RGB and turns it back on when you hit the button again, as long as you don't misbutton the button, fat finger the button, something like that. Now, as far as the microphone itself, it does come with a pop filter cover, which it does screw and unscrew onto the microphone. So you can kind of see the metal underneath there and how well that is made. I would assume that should you, damage this in any way possible, Fifine does have replacement parts for you to order. You just have to contact them via email through their support. But I will say the pop filter on this works perfectly fine. Screws on, had no issues with that at all. The mic itself is solid metal on the microphone, and then the stand is going to be more plastic. The shock mount is really, I kind of like the material here. To me, it's a plastic / silicone / rubber. It's got kind of rubberized bungees on it for that shock. As I said, as I'm talking here, this thing's wobbling a little bit. You're not hearing any kind of vibrations in my voice, so the shock mount obviously works very well. It was an unintended way to prove that to you guys as I am using this mic. And then going back to the mic, the gain button, or gain dial, I should say, on here, it is a very nice dial. It's very smooth to use. There's not any kind of tactile feel to it, but you can, easily move it up and down. It's not going to kind of swivel out of place there with that. One thing I will say, as Fifine talked to me about sending this mic out, was when I saw it was RGB, I was a little off put by that. If you guys seen my videos, obviously I use a lot of different colored lights in my setups. My gaming computer has RGB on it. I've never been a big fan of having RGB on a headphone or on a microphone, so I was a little skeptical on this when they sent it out. This is actually tastefully done. It's not a good view here. I'll give you guys a couple of different views as I am talking about the review, but it actually looks really nice on the RGB. It's subtle enough to where it just gives it a good aesthetic to it. Can't control the RGB. It's just that simple rainbow RGB color around, but again, thumbs up, fine for having RGB on there and being able to do it in a tasteful way, in my opinion. Okay, so now to where probably everybody is most interested in, which is sound quality. At least that's what I would be the most interested in if I were to purchase a USB microphone. Sound quality on this is very good. I mean, in your opinion, as you're hearing me talk, it's very clear. There's no issues there. There's no high emphasis on P's or S's, although I am going to do a test experiment on that here in a bit. So along with sound, I did a blind test with my friends. So when I am PC gaming, I'm typically gaming and using Discord as my chat option with my friends. So I actually plugged this in without any of them knowing and just, started a gaming session as normal. And, we were about 15, 20 minutes in. And finally, I just asked the guys, I was like, hey, by the way, do I sound any different? Do you guys, am I sounding okay? And, a friend of mine was like, yeah, I mean, you sound no different at all. Why? What did you do? And I said, okay, good to know. I said, I don't sound, sibilant or, you're not hearing any extra, on the P's or, I'm not disconnecting on my voice or it's not too quiet. And they're like, no, your volume's good. Everything's good. So I didn't change a single thing on Discord. And this is impressive in the fact that the microphone I typically use is the Shure MV7. Now, if you guys have looked up the MV7, you're going to know it's got a little more bells and whistles. It's probably built with a little more solid materials, although I think they're both built very, very well. Doesn't have RGB, but again, that was a selling point to me instead of the other way around. But I was impressed with the fact that I could tell my friends that. I didn't want to tell them ahead of time that I was using a different microphone because my opinion that automatically gives you the expectation that you need to be hearing something different. So that's why I did it blind. So from there, I went ahead and I wanted to do some comparisons with this mic. Now I've already talked about the Shure MV7, so I do have a comparison to that microphone, but the other one I have, and it's, over my shoulder here in the back, is the Beyerdynamic Fox mic. Now the only reason I have that mic is because at the time, I bought the Team Tiger set that comes with the Tiger 300R headphone and that particular mic. Now that mic you can buy by itself for pretty much the same price as this one. It goes for around $99.99, so maybe just a little bit more. So I was able to compare this one to those two, and I'm going to pop up some audio here with those comparisons. So let's take a look at that now. All right, and this is testing the Fox mic. Again, I'm sitting within the 2 to 5 inch range away from the microphone, and I am going to do a test off to the left of the microphone. So this is with me talking off to the left. This is me talking above the microphone. This is me talking on the right side. Now this is me talking about a little over a foot away, probably 2 foot away back here. All right, and now I am going to come back up and do the plosive test. So Peter piped pipe. Peter piped pack of pickled peppers. Now I'm going to do my S's. So chivalry, shout, sibilance, sniffly, snipe, slide, and this is the end of the test. All right, this is the test with the Shure MV7. I'm in the same range on this microphone as I was with the other. I'm within that probably 2 to 5 inch range away from the mic, testing the volume, trying a volume match on this. Now I'm going to talk on the left side of the Shure. So this is me over on the left. I'm a little above it. This is me back. Now I'm about a foot away, still talking with the same volume, trying to. Now I'm going to talk up close with my P's, my plosives. Paul, Peter, piped, pack of pickled peppers. Now my S's, shout, sniffy, slimy, sloozy, sleazy, stiffly, and the test. And now I'm going to do a plosive test. So Paul, Peter, Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. All right, this test is going to be more of a sibilant test to see how my S's sound. So Sam sounds super sweet. End of test for sibilants. Also, one other feature of this microphone is it does have the ability to plug in a 3.5mm connection, so you can listen to your headphones plugged into the mic to basically do live monitoring when you're talking in the mic. I tested this and it works just fine. There's not really a delay on there. Works solid for the way it is supposed to work. I will tell you that I'm not personally a fan of this. I'd rather just have my headphones plugged into my PC, talking to my friends. I don't really need to hear myself talking. I typically wear open back headphones, but this is a feature that you can use on this mic. Okay, so to kind of wrap things up here, I'm going to talk about typically what I will do is kind of a pros and cons list. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start with not necessarily cons, but just some things that, I wish Fifine would maybe change in future iterations of this microphone. First thing being, I do like how it mounts straight to the boom arm, as you can see here on the mic. I just kind of wish that I had more functionality to swivel the mic, kind of this way and that way, if you guys are seeing that, as opposed to just kind of this way. The reason why is when I was setting this up on the boom arm for this particular one, I just didn't have as much play as what I would want on, say, like my Shure MV7. I'm able to get that situated exactly where I'd like. Now, this is perfectly fine the way it is right now after I had it settled this way, but you also don't see this RGB in this video as well as when I'm going to pop up some B-roll and things like that. So then the other con I would say is really not necessarily a con. It's just the fact of the design of the mic, and that is the cardioid pattern as far as, like I said, just, that dropout in volume. Now that's good as far as picking up volume behind you. That doesn't say that there's not applications you can use either through OBS, through Discord, any streaming service. There might be some noise canceling functions on the software side that you can block some of that out, but just know straight out of the box, you are going to pick up some background volume, even though it kind of does this when you move away. You're still going to hear some of that. So another kind of con on that. And that's really about it, which is good because the pros, I can tell you right now, sound quality, 100%. I think this sounds fantastic. Matter of fact, I more than likely will be using this in future videos now for my reviews since I have a second mic, actually third mic, but to be honest, guys, I'm not really a fan of the Fox mic. Spoiler on that. So yes, so sound quality on this one is very, very good. Also the P's, the S's on the plosives test and on the sibilance type test, if you want to call it that, that sounded very good. When I was typing on my keyboard and you hear kind of that tapping in the background, that wasn't too bad. In fact, I can kind of do this as I'm talking here now to give you one more test of tapping on the desk. It's really not that bad. It doesn't pick up very much noise on that. And I just get that nice broadcast radio type voice out of this microphone, which I think sounds lovely. I like that sound. It's going to sound good when you're doing your streams or gaming or whatever it is that you're doing. The RGB is actually on the pros list. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I am a fan of this RGB here. Now, that doesn't mean I want RGB on my mic, but if I had to have it on one, I would say Fifine did a nice job. They did a fine job on this RGB for this mic. So yeah, I mean, big thumbs up on that. And then the volume control. The volume control is really, really good on this. I like it much better than my Fox mic. My Fox mic, honestly, the gain on that is just bad. It's either too low or too high. It's really hard to get that in between and get it set right. This was very easy to do. So again, this being much more competitive in the price range of the Fox mic, I would definitely choose this over that. So that is another pro. And then the price. I mean, the price is very competitive. The price is very good. Now, this is one thing I will say for companies like Fifine. This is a company that it's not a Logitech. It's not a Razer. It's not a Shure. It's not a Rode. It's okay. I could go on with the popular mic brands, right? It's a Fifine. It's a brand I had never heard of till they reached out to me. So, this would be one of those cases where sometimes you might feel like it's a crapshoot on what you're going to get. But that's why reviewers like us, we do this to help you guys out and give you a honest opinion. And honestly, this sounds really, really good. And yes, I would recommend this if you're looking for a microphone around the $80 range. So I haven't had that long-term investment yet to know how it holds up over time. I will definitely update this should I have any issues like that, but that definitely, again, falls on the pros list for me. Again, Fifine, thank you for sending out this microphone, the K658. I've enjoyed using the mic and we'll be using it going forward. And for that, I am going to let all of you get back to doing whatever it is that you like doing out there. And for me, I'm going to go doing other things. Yeah, that was really vague. All right. Till then, I will see you in the next one. Shock mount. Double shock power.